Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're embarking on an incredible journey back in time, not to Egypt or Rome, but right here in North America. When we think of ancient civilizations and monumental structures, our minds often wander across oceans. But what if I told you that a rich history of sophisticated engineering and massive construction projects is etched into the very landscape of this continent? From sprawling cities to enigmatic mounds, North America holds secrets that rival some of the most famous ancient wonders of the world. So grab your virtual explorer's hat, because we're about to uncover some of the most fascinating and mysterious ancient structures you might have never heard of. Let's get into it. First up, let's travel to the heart of the American Midwest, near modern-day St. Louis. Here, over 1,000 years ago, stood the largest pre-Columbian city north of Mexico, Cahokia. This wasn't just a small village. At its peak around 1100 AD, Cahokia was a bustling metropolis with a population that may have reached 20,000 people. To put that in perspective, it was larger than London was at the same time. The people of the Mississippian culture who built this city were master planners and builders. The site was home to over 120 earthen mounds of various sizes and functions, laid out across 6 square miles. Imagine a city centered not around skyscrapers, but around these massive, man-made hills. The centerpiece of Cahokia is the spectacular Monk's Mound. This isn't just any hill. It's a colossal 4-terraced platform mound that remains the largest prehistoric earthwork in the Americas. It stands over 100 feet tall and covers more than 14 acres at its base. Think about that, its base is larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Building this required moving an estimated 22 million cubic feet of earth by hand, basket by basket. On its summit once stood a massive building, perhaps a temple or the residence of the paramount chief, from which the ruler could look out over the entire city and its vast network of plazas, homes, and smaller mounds. Cahokia was a true testament to social organization and engineering prowess, and its sudden decline around 1350 AD remains one of history's great mysteries. Now let's head southwest to the arid, sun-baked canyons of New Mexico. Here, nestled in the cliffs of Chaco Canyon, we find the incredible great houses of the ancestral Puebloan people. Between 850 and 1250 AD, this canyon was a major center of culture. The people here built monumental public and ceremonial buildings unlike anything else in North America at the time. We're talking about massive multi-story stone structures, some with hundreds of rooms, all planned with incredible astronomical precision. The largest of these is Pueblo Bonito, which means beautiful town. And it truly was. It covered over 2 acres and contained around 800 rooms, rising 4 to 5 stories in some places. What's mind-blowing about Pueblo Bonito and the other Chaco great houses is the sheer skill of the masonry. The walls were constructed using a core and veneer technique, with carefully shaped sandstone blocks, creating beautiful, intricate patterns. They didn't have wheeled carts or draft animals to haul these heavy stones and massive timber beams, some of which came from forests over 50 miles away. The entire canyon was connected by a system of ancient roads, radiating outwards in perfectly straight lines for dozens of miles, regardless of the terrain. Why? Were they trade routes, or did they have a ceremonial purpose? The Chaco people left the canyon in the 13th century, leaving behind these silent, magnificent cities that continue to puzzle archaeologists today. Let's journey eastward now to the lush woodlands of Ohio to explore a different kind of ancient structure. Long before Cahokia, the Hopewell culture flourished here from about 100 BC to 500 AD. They weren't city builders in the same way as the Mississippians, but they were master mound builders. Their specialty? Creating vast ceremonial complexes of geometric earthworks. We're talking about massive circles, squares, and octagons, all connected and laid out with stunning mathematical precision over huge areas. The Newark Earthworks in Ohio is the largest set of geometric earthworks in the world. Originally covering over 4 square miles, it included a giant circular enclosure, a square, and a massive circle and octagon combination. The Great Octagon, for instance, is next. We venture to a site that often gets overlooked but is truly remarkable, Poverty Point in Louisiana. This site is far older than the others we've discussed, dating back to between 1700 and 1100 BC. That makes it a contemporary of the late Bronze Age in the Old World. What makes Poverty Point so unique is that it was built by a society of hunter-gatherers. Typically, we associate monumental architecture with agricultural societies that have a food surplus. But the people of Poverty Point defied this convention. They constructed a massive complex of 6 concentric C-shaped earthen ridges, spanning nearly 3/4 of a mile across. Imagine these huge 6-foot-high ridges forming a massive amphitheater facing a central plaza. In addition to the ridges, there are several large mounds, including the enormous Mound A. This bird-shaped effigy mound stands over 70 feet tall and seems to have been constructed in a remarkably short period, perhaps as little as 90 days. How did a non-agricultural society organize the labor to build something so massive, so quickly? Poverty Point was also a hub of a vast trade network, with artifacts found on-site made from stone and ore sourced from hundreds, even thousands of miles away. It challenges our entire understanding of what hunter-gatherer societies were capable of, proving that you don't need farming to build a civilization. Finally, let's go north, way north, to the coast of Newfoundland, Canada, to a site that rewrites the history of North American contact, Meadows. This isn't an indigenous structure, but it's an ancient one nonetheless, and it's the only confirmed Norse or Viking site in North America. Around the year 1000 AD, nearly 500 years before Columbus, Vikings led by Leif Erikson sailed from Greenland and established a small settlement here. Archaeologists have uncovered the remains of 8 timber-framed turf buildings, identical to those found in Norse Greenland and Iceland. These included dwellings, a forge for ironworking, and a carpenter's workshop. This wasn't a large, permanent colony, but more of a base camp, a gateway to explore this new land they called Vinland. The discovery of iron nails, a forge, and evidence of boat repair proves that this was a European encampment. Meadows provides the first hard evidence that Europeans reached the Americas centuries before the Age of Discovery we all learned about in school. It's a small site, but its historical significance is immense. It's the meeting point of two worlds, the moment when the human journey out of Africa finally came full circle. From the urban sprawl of Cahokia to the celestial alignments of the Hopewell Mounds, the cliff dwellings of Chaco Canyon, the hunter-gatherer metropolis of Poverty Point, and the Viking outpost at Meadows, the story of ancient North America is far richer and more complex than most of us were ever taught. These structures are not just piles of dirt and stone. They are the legacy of sophisticated, intelligent, and resourceful peoples who shaped their world in monumental ways. They remind us that history is all around us, often hidden in plain sight, waiting to be rediscovered. So next time you think about ancient wonders, remember you don't have to look across the world. There are pyramids, observatories, and lost cities right here. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey today. If you enjoyed this exploration, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Let me know in the comments which of these sites fascinated you the most. Until next time, stay curious,